Hello, this is a full moon reading. So with the full moon in Libra, it's all about like balancing your energy because you know Libra is very fair. It's all about fairness, health, personal growth, spiritual growth, working on yourself to let go of childhood traumas or even relationships that were too toxic and you're still kind of holding on to the but why and why. Look at all of this through a healing, cleansing glasses so that you could see what it is that you could move away from so that you don't have to do this journey all over again. So yeah, it's about growth. It's about expansion. It's also about relationships with others. It could be in business. It could be in family. It could also be in love, but it's making sure that there's an equal balance of give and take within these relationships. And the ones that are more, you know, some people are taking or you're giving too much or taking too much, having to let go of that energy so that you could be in a happier energy. So it's also about, you know, others, spiritual connection with people, humanity, making things fair in the world as well. So there's a lot of energy of shifting, letting go. Now with the full moon, I usually like to write down a list of the things that I want to get rid of, okay? So you could even do a meditation. It's good to do a little meditation, kind of maybe looking at yourself in the mirror or looking at the people in the mirror that you're wanting to walk away from and telling them, thank you for serving me for this time being. I've learned my lessons. I like to move on. Also, you know, the old version of yourself, if you don't want to be that person anymore, if you're doing anything that's toxic, unhealthy, moving on from that. So it's just about really releasing that energy and moving into more balanced energy because of that Libra, right? We're all about balance and fairness. So let's look into what the cards want us to see for this full moon in Libra. What energy we need to focus on. So exchange and gifts. Okay, and time to go. That's perfect because they are showing the exchange and gifts is the giving and receiving, right? So knowing that you're not giving to a point where it's, you know, even favors all the time for one person and then it's not coming back to you. Something's off there. It's okay to let that go and move on, right? So they're showing the time to go. So if you're not feeling like it's an equal relationship in business, in friendships, in love, it's time to energetically let that go and see if it comes back. If it comes back, it's usually because it's supposed to, right? So, and just so that you could shift and be in a better space too. Now, let's look into, it's funny because those cards make a lot of sense. The breaking free and the friendships. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people might be moving on from friendships or connections that are just not, it's too unbalanced. You're doing all the work or they're doing all the work and you just know that you need to give a little more, or you could also change that energy. So break free, try different ventures and experiences as ways to grow and learn. So maybe even doing things that you've always been afraid of doing, you know, and moving forward. They're also showing friendship, make a date for play with others, one or more friends. So they're also showing that it's okay to enjoy yourself. You know, we're in the spring now. It's getting nice out. And, you know, we're always like in this, oh, I have to work, I have to do, I have to. But sometimes it's okay to just release that energy and be in this positive vibe of just connecting with people and feeling a little bit more free. So they are saying, you know, obviously the toxic relationships, stay away from those and move on from those, but also connect with the people that you know are your soul tribe, the people that you really want. Also feel like there's new friendships coming in after this disconnect, because when you make room for a new person, when you get rid of, it's just like when you empty your closet, right? When you get rid of all this clothes and you go donate, you usually go buy some new stuff to fill it back up again, and so on and so on. So, but they're just kind of saying, you know, through releasing the energies of the people that are taking so much time and energy from you, that you're having new energies come in that are stronger bonds that are worth it, you know, and that's why that time to go is really important when you, you know, and even like a toxic relationship, something that's been going on back and forth, and you know that this person's wrong for you, and it's, you know, everybody, you know, I definitely get calls sometimes often actually, for people, yeah, so that you could really love yourself, right? So sometimes there's, you know, those friends with favors or friends with benefits, yeah, that's what it is. And you can't make room for another person because you're constantly answering or waiting on this one person. So they're just kind of saying like loving yourself, you know, and that compassion card and really connecting to someone who is equal, even to you. So that's what we're working with, that loving, kind energy, a person that you deserve to have on your path. And it's okay to kind of take, you know, get rid of the ones that are not supposed to be on your path. And they're showing the tsunami, which is a wake-up call. I also feel that this is all about, and the moon is right there too, right? This is very much about that full moon, right? Because they are showing that full moon, but also shifting the energy. So, and sometimes it feels weird when you're first doing it because you're like, I've just, lost what I thought was my soul tribe. But then you kind of have more time and space, and you realize that there's, better friendships and bonds that you could get just through moving on, even in relationships, right? Once you let go of that one person that you're obsessing with, a boyfriend from 3 years ago, and once you really do release that and you forgive them and you move on, then your heart is ready for something special, right? So just like letting it kind of go through that tsunami moment so that you could move into this beautiful energy. I also feel it's a wake-up call spiritually for the world, for everyone, so it's more like on a whole level, not just about us. It's about all of the energies, because when we're all shifting and moving towards love and light, then everybody's on that same path, right? Okay, so let's just do a couple more, and then we'll get into tarot and see like if there's anything else that needs to be said. But so far the energy is all about love, compassion, friendship, and moving on from things that are just not working anymore, right? Sometimes you just got to do it. You've got to use your strengths. Yeah, and they're very much into it's time to play as well. So once you're doing this work, the Archangel Michael is like being strong, right? Being like that warrior-like person and just kind of making things happen for yourself and knowing that things will shift once you are brave and get rid of those toxic people that you think, oh, what if, I have no friends after that? Just kind of moving on from that energy. And even with, let's say a toxic job, like if you're not happy where you are, don't stay there, look for, obviously look while you're still there, but and just walking away and knowing that something better is coming in, right? And then the playfulness. So once you've done all this work, I feel like it's a little house cleanup, and then everybody's kind of feeling in a better energy and they're wanting to start their new fresh outlook on life and start their new life, right? So that's actually really positive cards. Those are really great cards. It's very much about letting go and moving on and then finding new friendships and being in a better space and being, ready for love if that's what you're looking for, right? Because we did have that whole breaking free and moving on to love. So this is like a very positive way to go, right? So I feel like this full moon is almost kind of like a new moon energy, like you're letting go, but then really great things are happening like right afterwards. All right, so let's look into the cards and see if they have if there's anything else to, so this is the Justice card, which is funny because that's the Libra card, and we have that full moon in Libra right now. And what's crossing is the Judgment. So the Judgment card is, it's making the fairness, right? It's so Libra. So this is all about fairness and getting what it is that you deserve and moving forward. People that are looking for contracts or a new position or a new home, or that's what this energy is all about, right? And not having to deal with this, the family issues maybe from the past that you're letting go of, or, that divorce that didn't, the things that didn't work out, and kind of moving to a different energy. And the higher font too, they're actually showing like a whole new way of living and a whole new way of balancing your life out and finding your happiness. The Devil card. So the Devil to me is a card of holding on to an energy that doesn't work, right? Like the devil is usually either addiction issues or commitment issues or things of that sort. And they're saying, obviously you're wanting to have some balance in your life, and it feels a little weird at first when you first go through it, right? So it's the devil that it's the things that you've been doing, that pattern that you've been doing over and over again, and now you're having to shift it. And like even like morning routines, right? If you're changing your morning routine, at first it's hard, or when you start going to the gym again, or go on that diet, but then it just becomes like flowy and it works for you. So yeah, and they're saying, just doing the work, you gotta do the work. So they are showing the arrows of love. So if anybody's kind of afraid to move on from a situation that's no longer working, yes, it'll be a little tough at first when you walk away, but isn't it better than being trapped, like the chains that are trapping these people and they're so unhappy, I feel like it's better to move on from that and loving yourself first. The arrows of love which is the Eight of Wands is actually the arrows of love. And it's about loving yourself and nurturing yourself and knowing that beautiful things are coming, right? There will be some people that you walk away from, or some disconnects, because this is in your surroundings, that won't be happy with you walking away because they're used to you being there all the time, or they're used to you being the person that gives and takes, or whichever one you're doing all the time. But you're having to let go of that energy because that's their trap. That's their thing that they're putting themselves through, and they have to learn their patterns, right? It's like when you give too much to a child all the time, then they don't know how to do anything for themselves. So that's basically, you're kind of teaching them at the same time when you're moving on, that they'll understand and they'll learn their own pattern through this. So it is a lesson at the same time. And then they are showing me the Eight of Pentacles, which is having to do the work to get where you want to get. And if you do the work, guess what happens? We've got the Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles is a brand new beginning financially. It's also a beginning in love. It's also a beginning, it's a reset. So this is what we're doing. And I told you, I felt like it was a little bit of a reset kind of energy. So this is a good card to end this with. It's like, do that work, because you're going to have that new beginning if you do. Okay, good luck with your full moon. I feel like this is a full moon too. All right, love and light.